Hi, I'm C.C. Péan, and this is Reclaiming Your Health.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am C.C. Péan, and this is Reclaiming Your Health. Tonight, we are going to do a special dish. I'm wearing red for two reasons. For Valentine's, it's coming up on Sunday, and for Heart Month. It's all about heart awareness this month. So I'm wearing red to celebrate that and for love. So tonight's dish is going to be a special dish. We are making mushroom scallops and a creamy Meyer lemon and spring pea orzo. Now we're doing orzo in the place of risotto. And the reason we're doing that is because risotto, hi Phyllis, because orzo is so much easier to make than risotto. Risotto is a delicious dish, but it really is like something you have to stay there with and stay there with. Whereas with orzo, you boil it till it's al dente, and then you do everything and it's ready to go. It's not, labor intensive. I think risotto takes about 30 minutes. So that's why we're doing that. I am fixing mushroom scallops. I know many of you have seen this on my page or you've seen this elsewhere. And we are using trumpet mushrooms. These are massive. Look how big these are. I always get the best quality, the best amount of my money when I go to an Asian market. I saw some today at Sprouts. They were like half this size and way more expensive. So if you want to make this special dish for Valentine's or for any time, go to an Asian market and get these trumpet mushrooms. These are what we are going to use to mimic sea scallops. These also are really good if you oven roast them and you shred them. They're like pulled meat. So that's something to remember. Well, the first thing we're going to get going is actually the mushrooms because we need to marinate them to give them that seafood flavor. Now, I'm not one of these people that believes in shaming people for finding a substitute. If you're somebody who used to love seafood and you miss scallops and you want to kind of experience that again, this is great. There are two ways to fix this. We can either infuse it with kind of a seafood flavor, or you can just sear it. I'm going to infuse it with a seafood flavor because I want it to be as close to the real thing as possible. So what I have done is I've already warmed up in this pan about a half an inch of water, okay? I brought it to a boil and then turned it off. And let me show you what we're gonna do to mimic a seafood flavor. We've got some wakame. All of these things you can purchase at Whole Foods or you can purchase online. So I'm just gonna take a good pinch and I'm gonna drop it in the water. Wakame is a sea vegetable. That is what is key to giving it the seafood flavor. So we've got the wakame, now we're gonna use dulse. Dulse is something so funny. People say it tastes like bacon, it tastes like this or that. It doesn't to me. What it tastes like to me is the sea. So we're gonna put a little bit of that in there. The next thing we're going to do is I'm gonna use some tamari. You can use soy sauce, you can use Bragg's liquid amino if you want to. You can use coconut aminos if you want to. That's probably a good 3 tablespoons in there. This is a little aggressively seasoned. And the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put some capers in there. The capers give it that briny seafood type of quality as well. So I'm just gonna stir this up, okay? And then we're gonna come over to our mushrooms, cutting off the very top. What we wanna do with these is we wanna cut them to about a 1/2 inch thickness or 1 inch thickness because you want a hearty meal. So I'm gonna cut these And I would say, 2 or 3 of these is probably a serving. And let me show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it right in this warm, salty, ocean flavored marinade. Those, I'm gonna cut a few more. Oops, it's trying to run away. Okay, so I'm gonna marinate these, and in about 10 minutes, we're gonna flip them over. I'm gonna move this off this fire here, and we're gonna get started on our orzo. So we have another giveaway tonight. Last week's winners were Christian Eliezer and Crystal Sharpison. Crystal got the bag, the reusable grocery bag, and Christian got the maple jerk. So now we have our new label, Swanky. So this is going to be part of the contest tonight. I haven't thought of what I'm going to ask you, but I'm going to ask you something. Whoever gets it right is going to get this. And we're also going to do a spice flight. The spice flight is the tofu scramble magic, the quarantine curry, and the hepatia spice that used to be called the diaspora chili spice. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is turn on this. That would be important. All right. And if you all saw my little note today, you will see that you saw that I forgot to include garlic and onions in my recipe. How can you fix anything without garlic and onions? If I could figure out how to use garlic and onions in a pastry, I would do it, like a sweet pastry, savory pastry. I love garlic and onions. I think they're the foundation of everything. If you're from New Orleans, Louisiana, the Holy Trinity, onions, bell pepper, celery, all of those things, they're the great foundations of dishes. So silly me that I forgot that. So what we're going to do, we're going to make somewhat of a cream sauce for our orzo. So I put in like 2 teaspoons of some plant butter in my pan that I already need to turn down because it's sizzling. And to this, I'm going to do my chopped. This is about a 1/4 cup of chopped white onion. I think I shared with you all last week. Onion is onion to me. So if you want to use sweet onion, if you want to use white onion, if you want to use yellow onion, they're all good. To that, we're going to add our 2 cloves of garlic. You're going to see how quickly this delicious dish comes together. All right. We're just going to let those saute a little bit. That's looking good. It's looking good. All right. So now I'm going to use a little bit of plant-based half and half. This is Ripple. Ripple is made of pea protein. So there's all kinds of, ooh, that smells so good. There are all kinds of different ones. There's pea protein, there's oat milk, there's almond milk, there's rice, there's soy. My absolute favorite is oat milk, and this would be my number 2. So while that is warming through, I'm going to add about a cup of this cream to the pan. More. Let that heat through. So, who Who thinks they're going to try to make this dish for themselves, their family, or their honey on Sunday? Who thinks they're going to do it? Anybody? Here goes my half cup of plant-based mozzarella. It's going right in there. We're going to get some heat under this, and you're going to see how it melts. The cheese that I used was BioLife shredded mozzarella. I love it. It is coconut milk based. Doesn't taste like it though, but it melts beautifully. That's why I like it so much. So what we're making now is a cream sauce, also known as like a bechamel. I'm gonna put a little salt. I'm trying to be cute, so I gotta be careful with my sleeve. My sleeve won't let me be great. Put a little bit of salt in here. And I actually need a pinch of pepper too, that I forgot to bring over. So I'm gonna do a pinch of pepper. You don't have to add it. Okay, this is looking good. So also, as I talk about this, if you're gluten-free, obviously you can't use the orzo. You have to do the arboreal rice. Okay, so that is melted pretty well. Now I'm going to add my orzo that I cooked earlier. I cooked this for about 9 minutes. I did it al dente. I didn't want to do it really soft. It's actually better for your digestion when it's al dente. So now I'm just going to mix this a bit and move quickly. See how creamy that is? Ooh. Yummy. I'm going to turn this down. Turn it all the way down. Because now basically what we're waiting for is just for it to warm through. Okay. Now here comes the magic moment. We are going to use some Meyer lemon zest and Meyer lemon juice. Now the thing about Meyer lemon, it's sweeter than your typical lemon. It is a cross between a citron, a mandarin, and a melon. It doesn't have this acidity you typically would have with a lemon. If you look at it, it's all together, it's almost the color of a kumquat. So I'm just going to microplane this right over my dish. It adds a brightness to the creaminess. Okay. And now, put this and just squeeze a little bit of the juice. Just a touch. Okay. Like I said, it breaks up a little bit of that creaminess. All right. Look at how luscious that looks. So now the last thing we're going to add is about a half cup to a cup of frozen green peas. And there is our creamy Meyer lemon spring pea orzo. This is going to make a lovely bed for our mushroom scallops. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. See how that's already absorbed? That's because I warmed up the marinade. I think that's key. I haven't really seen any recipes that call for that, but this is something that I came up with because it speeds up the process, and it really gets that sea flavor in there. Okay. And you're not going to use the wakame that's in there or the dulse or the capers. Those are all going to get dumped. We're just using that for the color and for the infusion of that sea flavor. We're doing great for time. All right. So I'm going to move this over. Move that over. And we're going to work on this. Of course, we're going to have to do this a little faster than we usually would, but look at this. Look at it. Actually, it's marinating very quickly. It's really getting into those fibers. And again, if you're somebody who doesn't like the flavor of seafood, but you just want this lovely look and experience of this, that's fine. You don't have to use this, but I'm doing this for people who have changed their lifestyle or kind of are thinking of ways to substitute for seafood. Because one thing you should know about seafood, oftentimes people eat seafood and they feel it's so much healthier. Seafood is actually pretty high in cholesterol. So you need to avoid it as well. All right, so what I need to do, I'm going to move this off. I'm going to get it in the pan. Because I didn't think that part through, and we're going to get these scallops going. So typically when scallops are cooked, they're cooked at a very high heat, so they're seared. We're not going to necessarily do that with this. We're going to start this kind of on a medium to high heat and let it just get a nice little golden crispness to it as much as we can. So to do that, I'm going to use a little plant butter. This is probably about a teaspoon. And I'm actually going to use some nonstick spray as well. This is a avocado oil nonstick spray. Can anybody tell me let me see, what's my question for today? Can anybody name the ingredients that I used for marinating these trumpet mushroom scallops? Anybody name? So I'm going to take these out of the marinade. My pan is sizzling, and I'm just going to place these right in there. These are hearty. I don't know, maybe if no one's on tonight watching, nobody's answering the question. Do you remember what was used to marinate the trumpet mushroom? Yep. And so when we put these in the pan, we really want them to stay in one place. We don't want to mess around with them too much because that's going to mess up our final result. I hope my alarm doesn't go off in my kitchen. They actually smell really good. Crickets? Yeah, nobody's saying anything. Is anybody there? Is anybody home? I was so excited to prepare this dish because I thought it was different and elegant and something that could be fixed for Valentine's or Valentine's, and nobody's there. I thought at least Crystal would be there, but I don't think Crystal's there either. Well, I will continue cooking. So this smells really good. Oh yeah, that's looking looking great. That one is cooking very, very nicely. Hey, Crystal. Okay. All right. So I'm going to flip this over. Those look great. These are cooking beautifully. Oh, yeah. And as I said, we're going to use about 2 or 3 of these per serving. Hey, Dad. You're probably going to be having this tomorrow. Dad Campbell is there. Sometimes when I cook, I don't want to toss it. And he always makes me feel great because he likes my food. So oftentimes I take it over there. Oh, okay, Crystal. She got on late. So these are our mushroom scallops that I am kind of searing with a little bit of plant butter and a little bit of avocado oil. And these were steeped. They were marinated in, I can't tell you. They were marinated in sea vegetables. What were the sea vegetables I used to marinate it in? These are looking great. Can somebody tell me where I suggested you get these? The best place to get the best price and the best quality? Can anybody tell me where I said to go? Well, you all, we are ready to plate. I'm going to turn this off. Wow, this looks great. Put a little heat back up under our orzo. Dulse flakes is one of the things, yes. There's something else that's in there. So we're just going to stir this up a little bit. Ooh, this looks good. This looks great. So Dulce flakes, Asian market. There you go, Phyllis. There you go. But Phyllis, I think you just ordered a maple jerk. Didn't you just order a maple jerk from me? Asian market is the best place. So now I am plating. We're gonna make a beautiful Valentine's dish. You're gonna fix this for yourself. If you want to fix this for yourself and pour yourself a nice glass of Martinelli sparkling cider. Your nice little decadent dish. Look at that. Lovely. We're going to place 2 of these scallops, 2 or 3 of them, right on top. Let's see. Lovely. Plant life. So far we have our orzo. We've got our 3 beautiful scallops in the center. Now we're going to, I've got some oven roasted tomatoes I did. I've got some arugula that we can either use kind of as a salad or as a garnish. It has like a kind of a pepperiness to it. So I'm going to add a little bit of that on top. We're going to make this dish look elegant. I'm going to use a couple of these tomatoes just to add a little bit of color. Just a little bit of color to our dish. Beautiful. I made a little, I kind of went hard in the paint tonight, folks. I did a little bit of basil oil. Just gonna drip that along the edge. This is very simple to make. You just get some fresh basil, Some olive oil, you steep it, blend it in your blender. Also going to do a little bit of tomato oil. Just a little bit. Not only is this adding color, but it's adding some flavor as well. Sprinkle some chives on top, some chopped chives. And of course, because it's pasta, my arugula is looking a little dead there. Let's kind of spruce that up. There we go. Because it's pasta, we are going to use some Parmesan. I'm just going to grate that over the top. Folks, this is 100% plant-based. This is a gorgeous dish, if I do say so myself. Look at that. Look at that dish, folks. Plant-based living, 100%. Nothing on this plate has a mother or a father. This is all from God's nature, made for you. This is heart healthy, it is nutrient dense, and it is delicious. It's so pretty. I don't want to taste this dish. I'm going to taste it straight out the pot. Let's see. It looks good. Let's see if it tastes good. Delicious. It's creamy. The peas still have a little bit of bite to them because they were frozen and they were put in there. Of course, you know, vegetables are they're cooked and they're flash frozen. So it is cooked, but it still has some bite to it. Ladies and gentlemen, mushroom scallops on a Meyer lemon and spring pea orzo. If you weren't paying attention, rewind this tape and watch it and make this dish. Everyone will be amazed with this dish. You see how simple it is? I use just the half and half ripple. Lovely. Thank you for joining me, everyone. We will see you again next week. It's probably going to be later, but I'll see you again next week, our original time, like around 10 p.m., 7 p.m. California time. Happy Valentine's Day. Love your loved ones, love yourself, celebrate self-love, celebrate love for others, take care of your heart, be healthy. God bless. See you next week. Bye-bye.